So Gilberto Ramirez becomes a two-time two-weight world champion, picking up the WBA cruiserweight title with a 12-round unanimous decision over Arsen Goulamarian. Now, Gilberto Ramirez apparently made history here, becoming the first ever Mexican-born fighter to win a cruiserweight title, and he was also apparently the first ever Mexican-born fighter to win a super middleweight title as well. So those are two career achievements that Gilberto Ramirez can be very proud of. A lot of people wrote Gilberto Ramirez off after the comprehensive defeat he suffered at the hands of Dimitri Bivol, but Ramirez has regrouped, changed his style up a little bit, and moved up in weight to cruiser. He outboxed Joe Smith Jr. last time out, and he did a very similar job here against Arsen Goulamarian. This was actually my first time watching Goulamarian box, and I wasn't impressed. Very basic, physically strong, yes. He appears to have some power there, but very little skill. He made Gilberto Ramirez look like Pernell Whitaker in there at times. It was actually a very similar kind of fight to the Joe Smith Jr. fight. I thought that Goulamarian was a bit stronger, obviously a bigger guy than Joe Smith Jr., but the dynamic of the fight was very similar, with Gilberto Ramirez being the much better fighter technically, with the better footwork. He was two-handed. He was constantly going from head to body, upstairs, downstairs, back and forth, giving Goulamarian all sorts of angles, setting him up with the uppercut. From a technical perspective, it was a really good display by Gilberto Ramirez. Now, a lot of people criticize Ramirez for being slow and a little bit stiff, and he is. He's not a great athlete, but he's clearly a very good student because he's switched up his style almost completely from the way he was boxing at 168 pounds. And he's doing all the technical stuff very, very well. And of course, he was always going to need to do this moving up in weight because he doesn't have the size and strength advantage over these bigger guys that he had, let's say, down at 168 pounds. And when you're not particularly fast, technique becomes even more important as you move up in weight. It was a very disciplined performance against Goulamarian. As I say, good punch variety, good counter punching. He was very busy. And of course, that's the thing that Ramirez is known for above everything else, is his work rate. And that was very much in effect in this fight. Goulamarian had moments of success, and he did catch Ramirez with a few clean ones, but Ramirez was able to take the punches no problem at all. With that being said, I don't think Goulamarian caught him with anything that he didn't see. And it's the punches that you don't see that hurt you the most. So Ramirez was able to come through those moments, stick to his boxing, and get the victory. He won the vast majority of the rounds on my card, and certainly on the judges' scorecards as well. He is now a two-weight world champion. Now, moving forward, cruiserweight is not the strongest division in the world. So there is the possibility that Gilberto Ramirez could actually unify at least two of the belts. Currently, the other champions are Chris Billam-Smith, who is WBO champion, and the WBC belt is shared at the moment between Badu Jack, who's been inactive, and a guy called Noel Mikalian. I think that's how you pronounce his name. I'm probably butchering it. Badu Jack presumably is champion in recess, and the IBF belt is currently vacant because Jay Opataya got stripped of it. I think Opataya and Breedis are going to fight for that vacant belt on the undercard of Usyk Fury. Chris Billam-Smith, again WBO champion, is fighting Richard Riakporhe, I think. So as I say, there's an opportunity there for Gilberto Ramirez to maybe snatch another belt off the winner of Billam-Smith versus Riakporhe, or snatch a belt off Badu Jack, which is probably his best bet at this stage. I would definitely pick Gilberto Ramirez over Badu Jack for sure. The other WBC titleist, Noel Mikalian, I haven't seen him fight, so I can't really comment on him. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. If you have seen him fight, how do you think he would fare against Gilberto Ramirez, or how do you think Ramirez would fare against him? How do you think Gilberto Ramirez would fare against the winner of Billam-Smith and Richard Riakporhe? Should I even ask about Ramirez versus Jai Opataya, or even Mairis Breedis? I'd certainly give him a better chance against the latter. I'd give him very little chance against Jai Opataya. But hey, that's just my opinion. Titles are not won based on people's opinions. They're based upon what happens in the boxing ring. So Gilberto Ramirez needn't pay my opinion too much attention. He has to act upon his own self-belief, obviously guided by his team in Golden Boy and his trainer and so on. So anyway, let me know what you guys thought about all this in the comment section below. Gilberto Ramirez, two-weight world champion, making history once again, becoming the first Mexican-born fighter to become cruiserweight champion of the world, following on from being the first Mexican-born fighter to become super middleweight champion. And before I go, if you want to hear post-fight reviews for many of the other undercard bouts which happened over the weekend, I've uploaded them to my Patreon page. So go check them out on there. If you're interested in my extra boxing content, just select the boxing tier. It's very cheap. There's no commitment, no contract. It's just like Netflix, but far less expensive. You can cancel at any time, etc., etc. So yeah, check me out on Patreon for my extra boxing content.